for them has been the other teams around them also trying to do the same, right? And we kind of talked about this even in the group stages. A lot of teams trying to play edge. TE, one of those teams, we're fairly comfortable so far playing edge, but also playing more central position. They're just getting caught in a lot of these third-party fights, and that is costing them way more points than I'm sure they would want.
Just running in. Ruin's going to be where Soniqs going to be leaning into. As you can see how quickly they got vehicles. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not going to stay that way for too much longer. D+ Kia, who's been having not the best of a time inside of the upper bracket so far right now, is we're going to have to try to figure out what's going on. Another very far northern circle. And hey, you know what? There wasn't enough Zarky in the last one for you, so let's just go ahead and make sure that we get all of it this time.
I would really love if this just hard shifted.
Where everybody's going to be. They're rolling straight in right back behind where we saw D+ Kia going to be at. It's going to be Expendables taking the shots into them. And really, look at this. This is such a bold rotation, but it's so well navigated as they're just kind of roaming through, shooting whatever moves around them. They're still not quite done. They see more kills to be had. They're like, yeah, sure, let's just keep the points per game average up. Let's just kill everything around us. T5 going to be in front of them. They're not done in their rotation yet. They're just going to send it straight into them.
Well, not only they're rotating, but they're just killing people on their rotation. They pretty much just deleted D+ Kia as they're now taking the fight as well to the team of T5 as they rotate just past. And T5, though, I am a little worried because they do have this split, and if there is a team like Cerberus or maybe even TE who notices that they are going to be in a 2-2, they might get aggressive, but for the time being they will survive, and they will survive well.
Soniqs making use of that hillside. To the south of them is going to be FaZe, who's going to be doing some patrol of a similar fashion. We should also note Tyloo, Genji very close to each other on the opposing hillside around this one. The Expendables have a 3-1 split with 777 still playing the compound back behind this, so if this does shift down to the south, they've got a couple of options to work through. Why stop? There's still targets around us. Until everyone is dead, we don't need to stop, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to... Oh, is he going to make it in? He does, just barely. And Therton 5 will be taking shots from their east. That's going to be question mark that just barely saves Cerberus. Not that they needed any help.
This is actually a pretty centered position as well. So just cut a path with blood to get to the position that they need to. Some of it was theirs, but most of it was their opponents. Sitting at 5 kills right now already. Again, in a good position points per game wise.
Trying to survive by using smokes, utilizing anything that they can, as we see Na'Vi now starting to make their move on the backside of the Falcons. And again, they have a good position to work with, but they have to delete this team.
And now it's just a full regroup coming back. It's Falcons realizing that the numbers just aren't really there. They need to try to figure out some way to defend up against Na'Vi, who's just been such a force to be reckoned with. But Na'Vi, Uba also focusing on what's going to be going on with Petrichor Road, knows the fact that what their next target after the Falcons is going to be. While this is happening, Cerberus has also left some of their positions. They want to get a sight line into this. There is just a massive crossfire going on in this position, is realizing what's going to be happening. And no! Tyloo also has hopped in vehicles. They're sending it on this exact same path. They're going to be crashing it right back behind Na'Vi.
And Na'Vi now have to defend between multiple teams. Tyloo choosing a very good time to actually go for this rotation, and they're going to come up, clean up Na'Vi, and potentially even clean up Falcon.
All on a Moss. Well, T5 has finally regrouped in the center of this circle, and it's just destruction over here for every team trying to cross this angle.
But look at the way that Aduzi as well from question mark has pushed up on this road and bought a lot of room for QM to start fighting forward, even from that shack, and they are dictating a lot of what's happening here in the northeast by putting quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, on the south side though, TE is just waiting for their opportunity.
Doing some harassment into FaZe. FaZe's position was really good, but as the circles have shifted away from it, not the best. You can see Genji is going to get eliminated on your screen. Summer, probably not too much longer for this world either, as he's going to go ahead and go down. Tyloo finally finding the momentum that they had during the group stage.
Yeah, but look at Silzen with a backstab. Oh, I think 755 is aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, 5 kills, 4 alive, an opportunity here for a massive game. Silzen will find Shen, but the trade from 755 is there.
But look at Aduzi. He's crept right up into this line for Tyloo. This is a massive play. Keep in mind, the rest of QM can defend him on this angle. This is why he's playing this so in their face. If the guys at range can force them to hunker down. See, look, they take a couple of shots, they force it, and he can just keep moving up that sight line. That's such great communication, such great synergy.
He does have to be careful, though, of one of the members there on the off angle there. Longs was looking to spread out, but no, he's going to strike. He'll find one, but he'll go down, Matt.
The angle just wasn't quite there for QM to be able to defend. Now the nade's going to come out. Phil first coming up, trying to provide some support for his down teammate. Are we going to be able to see them rescue him off of this position? The firefight's going to be so hard. Shin's going to say no. Gets that high ground position, goes for the spray down, denies out the vision. Low ground from QM. The circle did pop, does favor this position, as we are going to have to see the Expendables and Soniqs both move in.
Yeah, and look at this. Tyloo fighting for dear life. They're actually starting to pick apart the team of Question Mark. As it's just down to Bestalok and Dante now.
But look at this. Question Mark has moved into 7th place on that leaderboard. It's going to be the Expendables right back behind them. And with this big statement, 8 kills coming up from Tyloo, they're getting close as well.
And Falcons, even though they're out, have also pushed forward to now 62 points, finding themselves in 6th place. Again, Matt, the cusp here of 8th is just getting so tight for a lot of these teams, and Tyloo is actually looking to potentially push into that 8th place position this game.
They want it. Question Mark's going to have more and more trouble, as it is going to be Expendables finally starting to find their lines into this. Just Dante now up, and they know where he is. He does have the shield for some type of protection, but it's going to be too many angles to have to work around. Throwables now going to start coming out, realizing it. Dante's going to step in and smokes. More shield. This is as fortified as you can get. Back against a rock, and you got a shield in front of you. The problem is, it's a nice cubby for nades.
It is a nice cubby for nades, and the real problem is actually the Expendables now starting to find, as I said earlier, looking for the opportunity to strike. They've been able to somewhat stave off everyone else in the south, aside from the Soniqs, and now they're looking to take over this position that Question Mark held.
Tyloo realizing that this could be their game. They need to make it happen. Expendables also wanting to get as much as possible, but oddly enough, playing the same side of the hill, so if not careful, they could spell disaster for each other. We still have Cerberus that's just kind of hiding out on the northern side of the slope, while T5, no surprise, in a compound, comfy, doing what T5 does.
Yeah, Teef, again, their ability to find these positions and just stay out of the kind of chaos and kind of push in and dictate some damage when they want to has been their greatest strength. And this game is really no different, as we see the Expendables now putting as much damage as they can onto Tyloo, because they would love to get rid of them and then start to take over the East.
We talked about the importance of having a big game here. Look at this. Massive kill count sitting on Tyloo and the Expendables, realizing it's coming down to the wire. They can no longer just hope that the next game is going to be the one that's going to be able to get them there. Meanwhile, Soniqs have been very quiet on this circle. They have, most of the fighting has been going on onto the East. They have done a good job of kind of securing what's been going on in the West. The whole reason it's kind of calmed down over there is due to how fast the firefights were ending versus the more hit and run strategies that were going on over into the East.
Yeah, and Soniqs have a good amount of room here to kind of work with. They're obviously waiting for the circle to close here to see where they're going to want to move next, but I mean, there's really no pressure on them at all. It's just trying to, you know, slowly get rid of the Expendables and kind of the position that they're holding, because that also would be great for them to kind of spread out on the south.
Yeah, this is just terrible for the Expendables, especially with that shift. Backs up against the blue zone. They've got multiple members of Soniqs looking down onto them. They've got Shin Longs on the opposing side for Tyloo. They're going to have to path into this circle where near on nothing could be had, but it's going to be T5 and Cerberus. Cerberus actually, while this is all happening, separating out and going for a wide split to see if they can set up some type of crossfire for the late game.
And this is a confidence play from Cerberus if I've ever seen one. Don't forget, they've been a duo pretty much since the beginning of the game. And
True.
And they have just been able to spread out, and look how much control that duo has been able to get, as the blue zone grenade now also going to put quite a bit of damage onto the Expendables in the shack.
Yo, I heard you, dog, I heard you like blue zone, so I gave you some blue zone for your blue zone. As the Expendables just, I mean, what do you even do? If the moment they step out, they're going to get murdered, and they have to make a decision. If they step out and they die to Tyloo, that could be a massive ramification for qualification, and that's the way that the door faces. But you know, at this stage, you also don't want to beat it over the blue. You know you need those points.
Yeah, because Tyloo's there as well. The blue, they want to see if they can get anything else off this, as Soniqs now starting to make the push onto T5. Tyloo, though, 755 will find the knock on Tiggleton, and he desperately would love to get this point.
Doing the little spins around, gonna finish it out, as now it is going to be T5 got themselves out of their little recessed bunny hole, rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it. TE trying to roll no tires. They're gonna go down, and that does. Actually, it goes over to the blue zone on technically both accounts.
Yeah, so they did deny those points, which I think was very smart. And look at this, I'm gonna step over the top. He'll find Hatswat and do quite a bit of damage as well to the other member there of T5 as they retreat. This is a bad position for T5.
Yeah, the problem problem with it is we also have Ty Lu that's coming up. Moss on the opposing angle for this one. Tycon did go down, so he's just going to have to leave that one be. So Ty Lu moving into this one much more aggressively. So while you've got, I guess, your whole of safety, T5, you're not going to be able to look out.
No, and 10 kills the way of Ty Lu. We said they needed a big game, and they have definitely delivered. And the potential here for a win is very much on the table as they still have 3 members up, and they are closing quite a bit of the circle for the rest of the teams.
And look, Shin beat it right in on where Moss is at. He's going to make sure the fact that he can't do too much more from there. But if he ever has to turn around to support his team, it is just waiting. You know that this guy can just absolutely pop off. Seeing Moss Shin having to face off on this angle for Ty Lu's life is amazing.
I really want to see if they can actually close this one out, Matt. That would be an incredible game, especially going into the last one, the confidence that they would build. So the circle will shift. I mean, not very surprising as Phase 8 really can't go too far from where it initially was. And look at how much gear is actually on the side of him as.
Just kind of looking around. You can see that's going to be where Shin's going to be. And look, the moment he looks away, but the shots are now going to start coming out from the
T5 though.
Yeah, it's going to be given away, and there you go. Shin's going to pick it up.
Shin, though, they still find it. 11 kills. And they do know that Soniqs are going to be on top of T5. So realistically, the amount of points they can clean up off this is pretty surmountable.
Okay, T5, what do you do? I mean, throwables are your doom in this situation. You can see that they're trying to prep out for that. Throw out a couple of nades, see if maybe they can weaken something, but Soniqs doing a good read, stepping away, using the opposing side of the hill. Shrimzy can't really peek out too much because Shin is making it complicated for him, which is allowing T5 to get way closer to that, like, extrication point of the door than really Soniqs wants.
Yeah, Soniqs would love to just be able to pour over and do, you know, as much damage to as much utility as they can down that bunker, but Ty Lu is just not letting it happen, and in doing so, they've actually pretty much pinned Soniqs to play the backside of this without really getting aggressive the way they want to. So amazing stuff for that team. The fact that they're able to still do so much damage and dictate this.
Oh, here it goes.
T5 is just looking for it.
They just used that opportunity. That was a smoke thrown down. A bit of a quick spin coming out from H1's going to get the knock on the World of Mine. Trying to play from the defender, but no, Soniqs going to go down. T5 makes a quick play back out from this one, but it's going to be on to Ty Lu to try to hold it. T5, though, they're still not done. Shin playing from that tree line, just trying to cling to life. It's all onto him. They've got the circle, as long as he can continue to stay alive from here, they can harass T5 and their numbers.
And how impressive for them, stuck in the bunker, Matt, to be able to come out and take the fight to Soniqs. 8 kills, but also take the fight to Ty Lu, and it's down to just a 4-on-1, and they will absolutely clean it up. What a game from the boys from Thailand.
Just steps out and makes it look easy. Soniqs are right on top, you're fine. Shin, Ty Lu's been racking up all these kills behind a tree. Who cares? Let's just go ahead and take this one done.
I almost want to say they had no business winning that game, but again, the timing, the window they found to get across and push up on the Soniqs, who were, all of them were actually looking the way of Ty Lu. They thought for sure they'd be stuck in there, but man, they have just been on fire in the group.